यशोदनन्दन आगे रखो। यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe Jai Radhe Jai Radhe Jai Radhe Jai Shri Radhe. Jaya Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajakacharya Stottara Shata Shri Srimad. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Samsthapakacharya, Savior of the whole world, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan Yajna Ki Jai. Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Gaur. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 4, The Appearance of Sri Narada. That's the title of the fourth chapter, first canto, Bhagavatam. Text number 10. Saha Samrat Kasya Va Heto Sasamrat Kasya Va Heto Sasamrat Kasya Va Heto Pandunam Mana Vardhanaha Pandunam Mana Vardhanaha Pandunam Mana Vardhanaha Praya Upavishtaha Prayopavishto Gangayam Prayopavishto Gangayam Prayopavishto Gangayam Anadritya Adhirat Shriyam Anadritya Adhirat Shriyam Anadritya Adhirat Shriyam Sasamrat Kasya Va Heto Pandunam Mana Vardhanaha Prayopavishto Gangayam Anadritya Adhirat Shriyam Sasamrat Kasya Va Heto Pandunam Mana Vardhanaha Prayopavishto Gangayam Anadritya Adhirat Shriyam Sasamrat Kasya Va Heto Pandunam Mana Vardhanaha Prayopavishto Gangayam Anadritya Adhirat Shriyam Sasamrat Kasya Va Heto Pandunam Mana Vardhanaha Prayopavishto Gangayam Anadritya Adhirat Shriyam Sasamrat Kasya Va Heto Pandunam Mana Vardhanaha Prayopavishto Gangayam Anadritya Adhirat Shriyam. Synonyms: Saha, he; Samrat, the emperor, referring to Parikshit Maharaj. Kasya, for what? Va, or. Heto, reason. Pandunam, of the sons of Pandu, referring to the Pandavas. Manavardhanaha, one who enriches the family. Praya upavishtaha, sitting and fasting. Gangayam, on the bank of the Ganges, anadritya, neglecting, adhirat, acquired kingdom, shriyam, opulences. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation of this verse. He was a great emperor, referring to Parikshit Maharaj, and possessed all the opulences of his acquired kingdom. He was so exalted that he was increasing the prestige of the Pandu dynasty. Why did he give up everything to sit down on the bank of the Ganges and fast until death? Please repeat this translation after me. He was a great emperor and possessed all the opulences of his acquired kingdom. He was so exalted that he was increasing the prestige of the Pandu dynasty. Why did he give up everything to sit down on the bank of the Ganges and fast until death? Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj Parikshit was the emperor of the world and all the seas and oceans, and he did not have to take the trouble to acquire such a kingdom by his own effort. He inherited it from his grandfathers, Maharaj Yudhishthira and brothers. Besides that, he was doing well in the administration and was worthy of the good names of his forefathers. Consequently, there was nothing undesirable in his opulence and administration. Then why should he give up all these favorable circumstances and sit down on the bank of the Ganges fasting till death? This is astonishing, and therefore all were eager to know the cause. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanishalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshitari. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam yat kripatamaham vande Paramananda Madhavam yat kripatamaham vande Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So we are in the 4th chapter now, the 1st canto. The 1st chapter is the beginning of the Bhagavatam, questions by the sages of Naimisharanya to Suta Goswami. Suta Goswami, they ask 6 questions, and Suta Goswami answers them in the 2nd and 3rd chapters. But even though he has completed answering all those questions, he says something which is very, very significant. At the end of the third chapter, this is explained. That the inquiries made by the sages of Naimisharanya, right in the beginning itself, Suta Goswami said, Munaya sadhu prushtoham bhavadbhir loka mangalam yad kritaha Krishna samprashna. The inquiries you have made are meant for the welfare of the whole world. Why? Because you have made inquiries regarding Krishna. So, noticing the eagerness of the sages of Naimisharanya to hear about Krishna, at the end of the third chapter, Suta Goswami told them that I want you to hear from me the Srimad Bhagavatam. And what is the Srimad Bhagavatam? It is spoken by Shukadeva Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj. And Parikshit Maharaj was fasting until death, sitting on the bank of the Ganges river. And Shukadeva Goswami spoke to him this Srimad Bhagavatam. So now all of you sit and hear the Srimad Bhagavatam. So immediately in the beginning of the fourth chapter, it is described that the sages were very, very happy to sit and hear the Bhagavatam. And their leader, Shaunaka Rishi, he congratulated Suta Goswami. That's the first verse of this fourth chapter. On hearing Suta Goswami speak thus, Shaunaka Muni, who was elderly learned leader of the rishis, engaged in a prolonged sacrificial ceremony, congratulated Suta Goswami by addressing him as follows. So, Shaunaka Rishi glorified Suta Goswami. We are very happy to hear the Srimad Bhagavatam. But can you tell us, before you begin reciting the Bhagavatam, what period and what place was this first begun, and why was this taken up? Where did Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa, the great sage, the author of Bhagavatam, get the inspiration to compile this literature? And then, regarding Shukadeva Goswami, there are so many verses here, that he was a great devotee of the Supreme Lord, but he was not easily recognized because externally appeared like an ignorant person, madman, wandering naked all over the countryside. So how did it happen that this Shukadeva Goswami was recognized by Parikshit Maharaj? And also, how did Parikshit meet him? How did he meet him? Because he was not in one place. Shukadeva Goswami was not in one place. He was wandering. And he was wandering like a madman, naked and disheveled hair, and not at all appearing like a saintly person or a sage or a civilized person. No. So how did Parikshit recognize him? Regarding Parikshit Maharaj also, in the 9th verse previous to this verse, Shaunaka Rishi is telling, it is said that Maharaj Parikshit is a first class great devotee of the Lord. His birth and activities are all wonderful. Please tell us about him. So the inquiries are made before Bhagavatam recitation begins, which is a conversation between Shukadeva Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj. So the sages are asking, tell us, when was this Bhagavatam compiled? What is the reason for Vyasadeva to compile this literature? And then about Shukadeva Goswami, tell us something more about Shukadeva Goswami. He was a first-class devotee of the Lord. We want to hear about him. And even Parikshit Maharaj was also a first-class great devotee. Bhagavatottama. And his birth and his activities all are very wonderful. So tell us about him. Now, this much he has asked Shaunaka Rishi on behalf of the sages, but he does not stop at this. Something very interesting he says, that this Parikshit Maharaj, today's verse, so Samrat, he was the emperor of the entire world, Samrat. He had great opulences of his acquired kingdom. He was supreme, he was super rich. And he was also ruling very nicely, increasing the prestige of the Pandu dynasty, the dynasty in which he appeared, the dynasty of the Pandavas. So, why did he give up everything? What was the reason? And then what did he do after giving up? He simply sat down on the bank of the river Ganga and fasted until death. Why did he do that? What's the reason? So, Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport that Parikshit Maharaj was the emperor of the world and all the seas and oceans. And this post of becoming the emperor of the world, he did not have to take the trouble to acquire such a kingdom. He simply inherited from his grandfathers. Simply inherited from them. And also, he was doing very well in the administration. And there was nothing undesirable that we know of in his kingdom or in his administration. Nothing. So why did he give up all these favorable circumstances and sit down fasting till death on the bank of the river Ganga? So what is implied here is, formerly in the Vedic culture, the kings were very responsible leaders of society. So Prabhupada says elsewhere that in the Varnashrama system, who are the important people in society? Not rich people. Nor merely somebody who is very powerful. No. The most important people in the society are the cultured people, culturally very advanced, spiritually advanced, advanced in transcendental knowledge, advanced in taking up austerities for spiritual advancement. Such people are actually very, very much respected in the Vedic culture. So in the Varnashrama system, the four Varnas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, all essential for the upkeep of the society. Among them, the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas are respected. The Vaishyas and Shudras are never given respect like the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas. You see? So it's interesting, Krishna did not take birth as the son of a Brahmana or a Kshatriya. In the human form, previously Krishna had appeared as Rama, son of King Dasharatha, Kshatriya. He appeared as Vamana, son of a great sage, Brahmana, Kashyapa. He appeared as Kapila previously, son of another great sage, Kardama Rishi. So generally in the Vedic culture, the exalted personalities are Brahmanas or Kshatriyas, among the four Varnas. So why did Krishna appear? That's a question by the sages. No. Why did he appear? No, the question is, why did he appear as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki? That question also is a specific question as to, after he was born, he immediately left his parents and went away. His parents could not raise him properly, take care of him when he was young and small. So he went away to Vrindavan. And then in Vrindavan, what was he doing? Simply playing with some boys, stealing some butter, doing some mischief, dancing with some young girls, wasting his time. Taking birth as the son of a responsible Kshatriya who's respected in the society, in the Vedic society, he goes to the house of some cowherd man, and then he's just playing around, fooling around, wasting time, stealing butter. What is this? And he is Supreme Lord who has come for re-establishing religious principles. He is incarnated for protecting the devotees. His incarnations are meant for killing the demons. And he's simply like a cowherd boy. What is he doing? Even though he took birth as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki. So very mysterious, very mystical. Similarly here, the sages are expressing, why did Parikshit Maharaj give up his kingdom? Okay, formerly also kings used to renounce their kingdom after they had ruled and it was time for them to retire. Only then they would give up the kingdom or hand over charge to their grown-up sons. Yeah. But this Parikshit Maharaj, in the prime of his youth, he is giving up his kingdom. And then what is he doing? He is going to the bank of the Ganga river. Okay, it's a holy place, fine. What is he doing? Sitting and fasting till death. So what business does he have fasting till death? Why is he doing that? So what's the reason? Why did he give up his kingdom? To sit on the bank of the river Ganga, prayopavishta Gangayam, and sitting and fasting till death? Because fasting is common in the Vedic culture. But they do specific fasting for specific time period. Here, he is fasting till death, continuously. For what reason? Nowhere in the scriptures it is recommended that somebody should fast till death. Nowhere it is said. So why is he doing this? What's the reason? So these questions are very, very relevant. Extremely relevant. So Bhagavatam is very special. Because Parikshit had no reason to actually retire from his kingdom when everything was going very well in his administration. And already the sages have expressed his birth and activities are very, very wonderful. So we like to hear about that. But we are still curious to also know, not just about his birth and activities, but why did he specifically tell us, why did he actually quit his position when he was ruling very nicely in the prime of his youth? Why did he quit? And after quitting, what did he do? Sit down in a holy place on the bank of the river Ganga and fast till death. This is never heard of. We have never heard of any such thing being done by a responsible person, in a respectable person in society. Panduna Manavardhan. He was ruling so very nicely, effectively, that he was increasing the prestige of the Pandu dynasty. Panduna Manavardhan. And such an emperor, he is leaving the kingdom and going away? So what's the reason? Please explain to us what's the reason he left his kingdom and went away. And why did he fast till death? What is the reason for fasting till death? So the inquisitiveness of the hearers increases the interest of the speaker to actually speak and explain all such inquiries, answer all such queries with great pleasure, with great satisfaction, with great respect even for the audience. All our acharyas are very humble, so naturally in their writings also the humility is brought out so nicely. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, in his writings, Chaitanya Charitamrita, he is writing, I offer millions of obeisances to all my readers. Koti Namaskar to the readers of this Chaitanya Charitamrita. You see, Prabhupada says the exchange of this topics of Krishna between the speaker and the hearers is effective when there is of course the speaker has to be qualified to speak on Krishna Katha, and even the audience has to be qualified. Then only the exchange is effective. The inquiry is being made and the answers to those inquiries being given by the speaker. So both have to be qualified. Then the conversation or the question and answer session is very, very effective. So Parikshit Maharaj certainly was very qualified. Even Shukadeva Goswami, great devotee. Both are great devotees. So both are qualified. Yes. But how did they meet each other? Shukadeva Goswami was not interested in the etiquette among saintly persons. He is the most exalted transcendentalist of his time. But he was not interacting with other saintly persons and engaging in some conversations or some discussions or some kind of spiritual exchange, nothing. He was just roaming around like a madman, not following any etiquette. Okay, he is disinterested, but how did Parikshit Maharaj meet him? Meaning, how did he recognize him to be a very great transcendentalist? And in an assembly of saintly persons who are all seated there, where Parikshit Maharaj had retired, it will be explained later on, that Parikshit Maharaj, after he went to that holy place, he offered his respects to those saintly persons and inquired from them, what is the duty? What is my duty? What is my duty? Before I quit my body, what should I do? And specifically, he tells them, kindly accept me as a surrendered soul who has surrendered himself to the lotus feet of Krishna. Let me hear the glories of Krishna. Let me quit the body in Krishna consciousness. This is exactly what he tells all the assembled saintly persons. And those saintly persons are all exalted personalities. From all over the universe they have come. When they heard about Parikshit deciding to quit his kingdom and sit down on the bank of the Ganga and prepare himself for quitting the body, and he has made the request to the assembled saintly persons there, please let me hear the glories of Krishna. So it's not that Parikshit Maharaj is in need of some knowledge, because in the womb of his mother, as a pure devotee, he was personally saved by Krishna. He had darshan of Krishna in his mother's womb. So, and his whole life, he was leading the life of a devotee, pure devotee. You see. So, why did Parikshit Maharaj make inquiries from Shukadeva Goswami? What is the need for that? So like this, the whole subject matter of the Bhagavatam is very, very interesting, because not only do these sages ask questions in the beginning of the Bhagavatam, and Shukadeva, Suta Goswami narrates the whole Bhagavatam to them, But also intermediate questions are there. Because it's continuous discussion for the sages of Naimisharanya. It's a 1,000-year sacrifice. What kind of sacrifice? It is actually sacrifice of transcendental knowledge. 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Jnana Yajna. So what is the yajna these sages have undertaken? Jnana Yajna. There are many types of sacrifice. But Krishna glorifies among all types of sacrifices, this Jnana Yajna is the topmost. You see? And the example is Parikshit Maharaj in the Bhagavatam. He made inquiries about spiritual subject matter. He was not interested in liberation. He was not interested in nullifying his sinful reactions. He was not interested in all that. Or he was not interested in promoting himself to a higher planet. No. He was simply eager to hear about Krishna. That's all. So, that is very, very glorious. Therefore, Suta Goswami will begin to now, before he begins to speak the Bhagavatam, narrate the Bhagavatam, he will answer the sages' questions. The second set of questions. So I'll stop here. Any questions you have? Yeah. The Puranas were spoken for 1,000 years. 1,000 year sacrifice. Actually, it is begun by Romaharshana Sutta, this narration, the Purana, because he was expert in Itihasa and Purana, the fifth Veda. He was a disciple of Vyasadeva. So different disciples of Vyasadeva were entrusted with different departments of Vedic knowledge. Prabhupada describes this in the, it will come in the 4th chapter, later verses will describe what work Vyasadeva did as the incarnation of Supreme Lord for compiling Vedic literature, what all he did, what all work he did, Vyasadeva. Only an incarnation of Supreme Lord can do that. Nobody else can do it. No human being can do it. So he did all that work, but Vyasadeva entrusted to he had many, many disciples. So he entrusted to different disciples, different departments of Vedic knowledge to develop that further. So, Romaharshana Sutta, it means this Suta Goswami we refer to here as Ugrashrava Sutta. He is the son of Romaharshana Sutta. So, Ugrashrava Sutta's father, Romaharshana Sutta, he was the president of that assembly of Naimisharanya sages in order to enlighten them about the Itihasas and Puranas, because he was expert in that. But unfortunately, he was very proud of his position as a great speaker of this Itihasas and Puranas. He became very, very proud of himself, that he became blinded by that pride when Balaram, when the battle of Kurukshetra was about to begin, Balaram tried to stop the war. See, not only Yudhishthira did not want the battle, so he tried to negotiate with the Kauravas. They would not agree for any peaceful settlement. Then Yudhishthira sent Krishna to negotiate for peace. And Duryodhana refused the peace offer. It was very, very attractive. The Pandavas asked just for 5 villages because they are duty bound to maintain themselves by ruling and collecting taxes. And because they're so detached, pure devotees, fully detached, so they said 5 villages is enough. We don't want anything more. They're entitled to the whole world, to rule the whole world. That's what their entitlement is. As the son of Pandu. Pandu was the emperor of the world. So because their father passed away when they were very small children, they could not immediately ascend the throne. They had to wait till attaining, becoming an adult, 18 years of age. So they had to wait. So meantime, Dhritarashtra was the caretaker king. You know the story. Anyway. So the Pandavas, they ruled and they handed over charge to Parikshit Maharaj when they retired from their Grihastha life. Similarly, Parikshit was ruling, but his administration was great, but still he retired prematurely. Retired prematurely. That is important. Why did it retire prematurely? That's a question. So these questions are very, very relevant and they make the subject matter very, very interesting to you, to actually learn and hear or read. Throughout the Bhagavatam, you find very intelligent questions being asked by different personalities. Because different conversations, there are references. Conversation within that another conversation, within that another conversation, within that conversation, another conversation. You find so many conversations. But the subject matter is only about Krishna, that's all, nothing else. Yeah.
In one of the lectures of Prabhupada, Montreal, June 20, 1968, Prabhupada is mentioning that this Ganga is not that Ganga, it was Yamuna.
Yeah, correct. That's there in the Bhagavatam itself. First canto it comes. There are several reasons. Another place Prabhupada explains that all rivers are actually waters of the Ganga. Because Ganga is the only spiritual transcendental river that has come from the spiritual world, causal ocean. Water of causal ocean leaked into this universe. When Vamandev measured a second step, created a hole in the coverings of the universe. He just stretched his leg. He wanted to measure all the upper planets. Okay? And then he is the Supreme Lord. So he can extend his feet as much as he wants. So with one step he measured the earth and the lower planetary system. Middle and lower planetary system, khatam. Measure kar liya. First step. Second step, he extended his leg to cover all the upper planets. Entire universe is over in 2 steps. He's taken away all of Bali Maharaj's possessions in 2 steps. He asked for 3 steps, cleverly. And 2 steps he finished off everything that Bali Maharaj possessed. So what happened when he extended his second step? Of course, he measured all the upper planets with his second step. But it made a hole in the coverings of the universe. Now these coverings of the universe, they are not just some simple 7 coverings of this universe. No. Each covering is 10 times bigger than the previous covering. So the first covering is 10 times thick than the diameter of the universe. The diameter of our universe is 4 billion miles. So the first covering is 40 billion miles. 4 billion miles? I think it's 4 billion miles. Yeah. Huh? 4 billion miles. So 40 billion miles thick is the first covering. And the second covering, 10 times the previous covering, thickness. So it is 400 billion miles thick. So you calculate the 7 coverings, how thick it is. And what did Vamandev do? He just extended his right foot with the toe of his right foot or whatever. Left foot, not right foot actually, left foot. So with the toe of his left foot, he actually pierced the coverings of the universe. So much thick the coverings are. And when hole was made, all these universes are floating in the causal ocean. So the water of the causal ocean, which is the spiritual water, Karana Jala. Why? Because the perspiration of who? Mahavishnu. So that is the spiritual water that entered into this universe. And Prabhupada's, that is explained in the 5th canto of the Bhagavatam. The descent of the river Ganga, there's one chapter, 5th canto. So in that you read the description where all Ganga flows. From the topmost Dhruva Loka, Saptarishi Loka, Brahma Loka, all upper planetary systems, it comes down to the earth, middle planetary system. Then goes down to the Patala, lowest planet. All the planets, Ganga is flowing. And on the earth, all the rivers which are flowing are actually Ganga only. They are tributaries of Ganga. So Yamuna also is Ganga. Not only Ganga is Ganga, Yamuna is also Ganga, Narmada is also Ganga. Every river, Charles River is also Ganga. We went on, in Boston we had this festival. Last Sunday we had a Nauka Vihar for Radha Damodar DT. You were there, Mataji? Yeah, she was there. Even her daughter was there.
But Prabhupada says one thing that Yamuna is 100 times more.
The difference, still there is a difference between Yamuna and Ganga. When water of Ganga is sanctified 100 times, because it touches the lotus feet of Krishna, the incarnation of Lord as Krishna. Otherwise it is sacred because it is the washing the lotus feet of Vamandev, the Supreme Lord, in his incarnation as Vamana. The water of the causal ocean is itself water of Mahavishnu, which is spiritual water. Spiritually potent water, correct? That itself is, by itself, the spiritual water is potent, spiritually potent, the water of the causal ocean. When it washes the lotus feet of Vamandev, it becomes enriched with the dust of the lotus feet of Vamana. So that is speciality of Ganga. It is more enriched than the water of the causal ocean. Then further, that Ganga, when it flows through Braja Bhumi, when Krishna was born, Vasudeva was taking him across the Yamuna. So, that Yamuna, actually it is Ganga, it is flowing. So it became Yamuna when Ganga was very eager to touch the lotus feet of Krishna, baby Krishna, when Vasudeva was carrying him.
But there are different personalities. Ganga has a different personality. Yamuna
Yeah, they're all different personalities. Just like Krishna expands himself into so many forms. All of them are Krishna only because he only expands his own body, his own transcendental form. He only is present in so many forms. One person. Ekameva Advitiya, God, Krishna. One person. So whether Krishna, Rama, Narsimha, Varaha, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Keshava, all incarnations of the personality of Godhead who appear as persons, Bhagavan. All are Krishna only, but still each personality has got a unique identity, unique form, unique qualities, unique, all transcendental qualities, but unique, unique activities, unique qualities. Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, Parikara, his paraphernalia, all are unique. All are unique. That's the speciality of Krishna's personality.
So when Vamandev pierced the covering of the ocean,
Yeah.
and Ganges came down.
So Ganges is the Padodaka of Vamanadev.
So before that there was no river on the universe?
Rivers are always there. So this is another mystery. It says that Ganga started flowing in the universe only when Vamanadev's pastime happened. But Ganga is eternally flowing everywhere. That is also very difficult to understand. Because the Leela is Nitya Leela. It's always going on. So these things are it's inconceivable actually, all these descriptions. Krishna is always present everywhere. Still he incarnates. 5,000 years back he incarnated. So one place it is said he is always present everywhere. Another place it says, no, he is not present everywhere. As Krishna. He incarnated as Krishna. When the demigods offered him prayers, Vasudeva and Devaki wanted to have him as their son, he incarnated. You see? You understand? So these things are all inconceivable. Everything about the spiritual subject matter is inconceivable. Why spiritual subject matter? The soul itself is described as inconceivable. Achintyoyam, adahyoyam. Second chapter. Just 3 verses are enough to study. 20th verse. What is that? 20th verse. Read that. We'll close after this. न जायते वा म्रियते न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचित् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूत् अजो नित्य शाश्वतो अयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्य. So one long list of qualities of the soul are given. Individual soul, this is a spirit soul, tiny spirit soul. And then the next set of things is no, not that one, not that one. After that is, after 20 is 24, I think, 24. Achedyoyam. That Nainam Dahati Pavakaha, that's actually summarized in the next verse. What is the next verse? Achedyoyam. Then Adahyoyam. Then Akledyo Ashoshya Evacha. So that is summarized in just 2 lines. What is described in 4 lines in 24th verse, am I correct? 23rd verse is summarized in 24th verse in 2 lines. And 2 further lines, more qualities are given. Nityo, Nityaha, Sarvagataha, Sthanuhu, Achaloyam, Sanatanaha. Now come to 25th verse. What does it say? Avyaktoyam. Further qualities are given. See, 20 itself, so many qualities of the soul. 24, further qualities are given. Then 25th is avyakta, achintya. Look at this. Avyaktoyam, achintyoyam. This is what I wanted to bring your attention. Draw your attention to this description. The soul itself is inconceivable. What to speak of the super soul and supreme soul and supreme personality? Unlimitedly inconceivable. The soul is inconceivable, but some small, to tiny, small extent, limited extent it is inconceivable. But the personality of Godhead, the supreme soul, the super soul, unlimitedly inconceivable. Inconceivable. We are inconceivable, Krishna is inconceivable. But we are limitedly inconceivable. Krishna is unlimitedly inconceivable. So this we should also accept. Therefore, it is difficult to understand the Leela of Krishna. Okay, we'll stop here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Actually, there will be no end to our questions, no? Because so many inconceivable things are there. Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Bhagavad Gita का ही questions हमको आंसर नहीं मिलता है. Bhagavatam का क्या पता लगाएगा?
Maharaj, only the bodily concept is it inconceivable, or even when we are liberated it is inconceivable?
Liberated also is inconceivable.
Inconceivable.
How? Then begin to wonder, how did I come to this stupid material world? It's the big